there's three parts of this. Would you go to the dinner? I think you're crazy not to want to see up close the person who's this important in everybody's lives for the last decade.
You know, I completely understand that.
Two, are you going to lie about it? I'm sorry, I'm not a liar. I don't lie, so I told the truth. And then three, do I go back to doing what I always did? Yes, I did.
Yeah, but you could have told more truth or you could have told less truth.
I told a lot of truth. I told everything.
I would have enjoyed a little more brevity on that. But I absolutely understand that.
But that's just emotional. You were just triggered.
These days, people seem to think being a hero means digging through someone's old MySpace page. Because apparently, nothing says justice like scrolling through a stranger's forgotten teenage post from 2007. Somewhere along the way, the internet decided that finding an old joke or a dumb comment from years ago makes you brave. But let's be real, that's not courage. That's obsession. It's not activism. It's just digital snooping with a Wi-Fi connection. And that's exactly what Bill Maher is calling out. He's had enough of this weird obsession with moral purity, where people spend hours searching for someone's old mistakes just to ruin their lives. This time, he didn't hold back. His latest monologue wasn't just sharp. It was fierce. Maher ripped into the hypocrisy of these self-proclaimed moral crusaders, the ones who parade around like saints while burying their own skeletons deep in their timelines. You know the type. People who think scrolling through a podcast from 10 years ago counts as journalism. Spoiler. It doesn't. Let's rewind for a moment. Remember when kids were taught not to tattle? When one of the first lessons in school was that nobody likes a snitch. Well, that rule seems to have disappeared from the modern woke playbook, because now, tattling is treated like some noble mission. These days, any bit of success comes with a built-in countdown to scandal. Sooner or later, someone digs up an old tweet, and within days, it's headline news. Remember that guy who was supposed to host Jeopardy? Yeah. His big break fell apart when a bunch of self-righteous internet detectives, Maher jokingly called them Squeal Team 6, dug up an ancient podcast. He'd said something that offended no one at the time, but a decade later, it became a reason to cancel him.
California was its own country, and many people think it is.
Or if Canada was ours.
Yeah. You didn't see that coming. You got to admit that. Did you? With Trump?
Only, and I said, and I still do say to myself aloud every day, you know, whatever you don't expect, it's happening.
But you do, I hope, think I did the right thing to have dinner with him.
I think having dinner with him was absolutely. You're so smart. You go there and look. This is the president of the United States. Whether we like it or not doesn't matter. And I think there's a lot of reasons. I was speculating that would be good for you to do that.
Here's the wild part. No one can even say when this became normal. When did we decide that spending hours digging through someone's old tweets is a moral duty? That's not justice, it's obsession. It's fake outrage disguised as virtue that, let's face it, cancel culture stopped being about accountability long ago. Now it's about control, humiliation, and the cheap thrill of watching someone get torn down. Anyone who existed online before 2015 is automatically guilty of something. And Maher called it exactly what it is, hypocrisy wrapped in fake moral superiority. These online witch hunters are often guilty of the same things they attack others for. They got skeletons too, bad jokes, stupid opinions, and probably some embarrassing selfies they hope never surface. Take Alexi McCammon, for example. She was a rising journalist, picked to be the editor of Teen Vogue. Huge opportunity, until it disappeared overnight because of a few harmless tweets she wrote as a teenager. Stuff like, now Googling how to not wake up with swollen Asian eyes, and, ha, you're so gay.
I think that when you talked about it on the show, that I would have preferred that I saw his mission or his will to have the dinner. I wish I would have seen it as less successful, because you're so smart on
Well, it was less successful
policy.
Because I never stopped saying all the things I've always said about him. It would have been successful if he had somehow into supporting.
The mob pounced instantly. They demanded she step down, and Teen Vogue folded faster than a cheap lawn chair. The irony? The magazine's own senior social media manager, Christine David, who helped fuel the outrage, was later exposed for her own old tweets. Turns out, she had used the N-word back in 2009. Goodbye. Career, that's exactly what Maher meant. The self-righteous moral police love pointing fingers, but never notice how many point back at them. It's poetic in a way. The Purity Patrol falling into their own trap. Maher believes this obsession with moral purity will eventually destroy itself because it's starting to eat its own. He even mentioned Rachel Nichols, the ESPN reporter whose private phone call was leaked. She quietly complained about her employer's diversity policies, not in public, but privately, and yet her career ended. Let that sink in.
Well, maybe.
So it wasn't successful.
Maybe more brevity. You know what? He treated me fine. That's that. And now on. Maybe more. Maybe I would have done some editing. But I absolutely listen.
No, you're just being
the only reason I wouldn't. I have not been invited. The only reason I would not accept an invitation is because I see no. It's a long flight. I see no.
Really? You'll meet with
I don't think
Castro and Hugo Chavez, but not the President of the United States?
Yeah, I saw good results come out of some of those things in terms of agendas that I had. I don't think that there's anything that I would... I just personally wouldn't trust anything that was said in the room.
A private phone call ended her career because apparently in 2025, private doesn't mean private anymore. Everything is fair game if it earns clicks or moral points online. And Maher's right. That's terrifying. When people start recording conversations just to ruin others, that's not accountability. That's surveillance. Society has turned into one big tattletale contest where betrayal is treated like a virtue. He nailed it. There's no courage in being a rat. There's no bravery in wrecking someone's life from behind a screen. You don't need guts to destroy a reputation, just Wi-Fi and bitterness. These so-called digital heroes think they're fighting for justice, but they're not. They're just bored people pretending their outrage give them purpose. Maher didn't just criticize them, he exposed them. He called them what they are, pathetic cowards hiding behind fake morality. Instead of building something meaningful, they spend their days tearing others down. This is injustice. It's a digital blood sport, and it's not just the far left doing it. The far right's in on it too.
Matter of trusting it. It's a matter of seeing it, matter of experiencing, matter of knowing it.
Yeah, it's
more knowledge. It's like saying, I don't want this medical test because I don't want to know. I want to know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean,
I have some good friends that, are...
I said this many times within the piece when I did it, that it's up to, I'm just giving you the report. It's up to you to make the decision. Who do you think is the real guy? I'm telling you, there's a very different guy behind closed doors in a different setting. Now,
capable of performatively seeing that, yeah.
Well, my friends who believe in astrology would say he's a Gemini. Of course, there's two of them.
Maher pointed out that Republicans are now encouraging college students to record professors who express left-leaning ideas because apparently turning classrooms into surveillance zones is how they protect freedom. And he's right to call that out too. Cancel culture isn't political. It's bipartisan. Both sides weaponize outrage to silence people they disagree with. Whether conservatives tattling on teachers or progressives digging up decade-old tweets, it's the same cowardice. Free speech was never meant to be comfortable. It's supposed to challenge us, even offend us sometimes. That's how we grow. But today, everyone's walking on eggshells. Say the wrong thing, post the wrong meme, and your life can collapse by Monday morning. Comedy's no different. It used to be a space where everyone could laugh together. Now, even comedy clubs are full of people waiting to get offended. Maher reminded everyone, crossing the line is what comedians do. But today, crossing that line can cost you your career. Just look at Kevin Hart. He lost his Oscar hosting job over jokes he'd already apologized for years before. That's not progress. That's regression.
For some reason, this particular president triggers me rather often.
Exactly. He makes people crazy, but he's not making me crazy. But, so you really wouldn't go?
No, I don't. I'm not saying I think I wouldn't, because let me put it this way. What I know I would not do
Especially, he's very.
I would not go. Let's say, so for example, when we talk about this very different president of Uruguay, there were things that Uruguay had models of in development that could be very helpful to Haiti, and I went to see if we could get some training from them, and so on and so forth, which we did. And whereas if I were, let's say, representing a cause célèbre, say it was Ukraine, say it was whatever it was, I would not fool myself that there was I was going to get.
Now, comedians play it safe, but safe comedy isn't funny. It's bland. And when laughter dies, culture starts dying too. Maher drew a sharp line between today's tattlers and real whistleblowers. Thing about Edward Snowden, he risked everything to expose illegal government surveillance. That's genuine courage. Now compare that to someone digging up an influencer's tweet from 2011 and posting, "Can you believe she said this?" That's not noble, that's pathetic. Maher summed it up perfectly. You're not a journalist. You're just a creepy little rat. And honestly, that might be the most accurate definition of cancel culture yet. Because here's the truth. Nobody's perfect. Everyone said dumb things, made bad jokes, or done stuff they regret. That's part of being human. Growth doesn't mean erasing your past. It means learning from it.
I know that I wouldn't. I know that I would have no influence.
Bad attitude. You don't know that. You don't know anything. He's a guy who frequently seems to go by what the last thing he heard was. I'll tell you this about Donald Trump, and you don't know it because you don't go to dinners. It's all about.
I didn't go to dinner with President Trump. That's true.
You should. It's all about personal relationships.
I've not been invited.
Okay, I will get you an invite. He's a star fucker in a way. I bet you he would like to meet you. And you would have a...
Yeah, he'll see the show. He says, if I see him, they're going to call me a star fucker.
I don't think he watches the podcast. He does watch the show. He's a faithful viewer.
He's got people that do his thing. Dan Bongino would be knocking on your door if you didn't go to dinner.
That's not why I did it. And it could work out the other way.
But the cancel mob doesn't care about growth. They care about punishment. They don't want apologies. They want destruction. And that's the real danger. Once you make destruction a goal, you eventually run out of enemies and start targeting your own. That's what's happening right now. The mob is eating itself. Every week, someone new gets canceled. Often the same people who led the last outrage storm. Because when perfection is your only standard, nobody survives. Maher's not defending bad behavior. He's defending common sense. He's standing up for nuance, free thought, and a belief that people can change without being crucified for their past. He's defending the right to make mistakes and move forward. And both sides should agree on that. Because when we start punishing people for being human, when private words become public executions, we lose more than reputations. We lose honesty. We lose truth. And when that's gone, free speech isn't really free anymore. It's permission speech, approved by the mob.
And that's one way to look at it. Other people will say, well, the real guy is the guy you met, and he's playing this clown on TV. And other people will say the reverse. It seems harder to do the reverse. Can you really pretend to be sane? You can pretend to be insane. I think it's harder to pretend to be sane, to be measured and like all the things I said, which is just what...
So yeah, Maher's message hit hard. He reminded everyone that real courage isn't canceling someone. It's standing up for truth, even when it's unpopular. Cancel culture pretends it's fighting evil, but all it's really doing is hunting imperfect people and calling it justice. Maher sees right through it and calls it what it is, small-minded, shameful, and completely un-American. Because what's more American than free expression? And what's more human than forgiveness? The moment we start erasing people for their past, we stop being a society and start becoming a mob. Maybe it's time we stop rewarding the tattlers and start listening to the thinkers. Maybe it's time to remember that context, intent, and time actually matter. Because if this cancel culture madness keeps going, none of us will survive it. Eventually, someone will dig up your old posts or private messages and use them against you. That's how it ends. Everyone pointing fingers and no one left standing. And when that happens, there'll be nobody left to laugh. So yes, Bill Maher set the internet on fire again. And this time, he didn't just call out the woke crowd. He called out everyone, because no matter your politics, left, right, or center, if you've ever joined in on an online dogpile, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what are we really doing here? Are we fixing anything? Or just feeding our anger? Maher's answer is clear, and he's right. Cancel culture isn't noble. It's lazy outrage dressed up as progress and SO. If you agree even a little, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Have you seen someone get canceled unfairly? Maybe it even happened to you. Let's start having real conversations again. Until then, stay skeptical, stay sane, and maybe stay off MySpace.